And because that's the only reason you vote for them, that's all you're going to get. And 7 years ago, you did the same thing for somebody who was Indian. And you vote for Indian and you thought that would have been enough. And there are people walking around outside there and telling you, the Indian gave all more than the black, so we can vote back the Indian. And it's all that kind of bullshit. When there are countries in this world, like Singapore and Norway and Dubai, who never had what we had, and have so much to show for it. And we, who had so much, have nothing. Have nothing. When Ralph Gonsalves comes to Trinidad, it's because Ralph Gonsalves is bored. He's the prime minister of a country with 12 people. He done pinch all the woman bottom in wherever it is he from. So when Trinidad called Ralph and said, Ralph, bring your fat ass here now. He come in. Because Ralph have nothing to do where he is. I don't think his island have cable yet. I think John Travolta now reached there with Saturday Night Fever. When Mia Motley came to Trinidad to do that symposium, it's because Mia Motley handlers so high after COP 17 or 27 or whatever, and she makes such a big splash in the world. She talked two big things on a TED Talk. They think she is one of the Kardashians. So anyway, they invite her. She go in and she come to Trinidad and get splattered with the shit that is the politics in Trinidad. Anybody that don't want to hear that truth, switch it off. Go outside, hit the pothole, back up and hit it again, and say, great is the PNM, because you vote for that. When you go home and you have no water in your tap, and you have no water in the tank, and you lie down to sleep with one eye open, waiting to hear the drumming song, 4 o'clock in the morning, when water starts to fall in the tank, and you're waking up the whole family, come and flush toilet, come and wash clothes, come and wash wares. Do it 4 o'clock in the morning while they have water in the line. That's what we just say, water in the line. Half of Trinidad and Tobago shower have a bucket in it. When foreigners come, they ask, what leaking? Nothing leaking. You have to leave a full bucket of water from the line. You have the tank and you have the line. That's Trinidad. That's what you're getting in a country that was spat out of the Amazon. In a country that has the same climate as the rainforest. In a country that gets 50,000 times more water fall on it every year for free from the sky than we could ever use. Let me tell you something here. Hafiz Karamat is one of my heroes. Hafiz Karamat land in the desert and sell the chic sand. Because Hafiz Karamat went to the government of Trinidad and Tobago and tell them, even though this country gets 100 million times, you know what drowned Diego Martin 3 times in the past 10 years, kill people? You know what drowned Greenvale? You know what drowned what Hines come and tell them, you're living in a murky lagoon? You know what drowns it? 8 months out of the year, we have the wet season. In Bayshore, Regents Park, and Goodwood Park, they have summer, winter, spring, and fall. But the rest of Trinidad and Tobago have 2 seasons. 8 months out of the year, it's wet. It's so wet in Diego Martin right now that Diego Martin could provide enough water for Trinidad, Tobago, Barbados, Antigua, St. Lucia, Dominica, the Cayman Islands, Aruba. Anybody who want water could plug into Trinidad. Plenty of people don't know this. The Caribbean water standard is Tucker Valley. The highest standard of water is the aquifer in Tucker Valley. It's still a rainforest. You know that? You know that? You all know that Trinidad water is a measure for the rest of the Caribbean. You know that? And we still have no water in the taps, boy. We have no water in the tap. But Dominic Hadid have water for blue waters. Because Dominic Hadid understands Trinidad. We the people stupid. And we could give political parties money and get stupid Trinidadians to vote for those parties for dry taps. So Dominic Hadid could make $1 billion a year and say he's a boss businessman, boy. Because in this wet country, the government find a way to dry it so they could sell you bottled water, truck water, tank and pump in your yard. I mean, come on. We have to be the stupidest people in the world. Trinidadians are the stupidest. You could tell me what you want. Go by Jason Gordon and touch your head on the ground and say, Jason, look, Philip bad talking we country. Sprinkle some water on him. But I want to tell you something. The difference between me and Jason Gordon is I don't lie. And I don't care who vexes. So I'm not going to politicize myself into a position like he and other people do. By being afraid to say the truth, we've led the entire country astray. Trinidadians have to be the stupidest people in the world. And now we start to face the truth. Don't vote for me now. Don't vote for me now. See what I do my life, but see what I do yours. Because I want to tell you something. The worst thing you could do to me is put me in office. Because I will work my ass off to fix everything. The best thing that could happen to Trinidad and Tobago is somebody like me in public office. Because I will stop at nothing to prove. My tombstone must say, here lies the greatest Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago that ever lived. He freed us. He freed us from no water. He taught us how to move the pitch from La Brea to the roads. Not through China, not via Amazon and eBay, not through Junior Sammy and Leng and Kusal. No. Straight from the pitch lane to the roads. He freed us from dry taps. He taught us how to capture, hold, treat, and distribute the bounty of rainfall that falls on this country. He freed us from hunger. He showed us how to put 90,000 acres of farmland that they're building Syrian mall after Syrian mall, marching forward from Chaguanas to town, mall after mall after mall. How much freaking rituals and churches and Starbucks all you need? Trinidadians outside there sipping $51 coffee. So pretending that all you're freaking successful. And you're ducking the bank, you're ducking the landlord, the Chinese grocery cut off your credit, but you're outside here sipping. Stop being stupid. Stop being a monkey for these 1%ers. Stop it. Stop being a jackass. Give your family a royal castle once a year. That's how I know it growing up. I know it growing up. If a box of pizza come in the house, we the children quiet. Quiet. Special occasion. Our children growing up throwing away food. When I was small, when we finished eating our bone, and they give it to the dog asked me, why are supposed to do with this? We leaving nothing. Now we throwing away meat on the bone. Because we stupid. We in debt. We owing everybody. We used to drive car long ago till the fender fall off. We used to wear shoes till it wear down to the ankle band. We used to sew socks. All you know that? It was called darning. Darning. You could darn a hole in the socks. Now, we buying socks in Price Mart in dozen and half dozen socks. Tell me a lie. We so stupid. We so foolish. And these people building bigger house after bigger house, climbing up Goodwood Park Hill. We so stupid. Look at us. Nothing to show for it. Politicians climbing up on podium and peeing on all you. And all you taking that. Stupid, God. Rolling sun and rain. Ask yourself. 62 years. $3 trillion. You know what is $1 trillion? That's $1 trillion. A million seconds is 11 days. A billion seconds is 35 years. 1 trillion seconds is 35 billion years. That's the kind of money we had. We make people so rich in this country. I telling you, I have Syrian family. that land in this country, 5 men in the family, 1 draws, and you know yourself by the day of the week. You know if you going out to work Tuesday, you have on the draws. It's the family draws. We broke. We broke and broken. Go and ask them. Go and ask them. Go and ask my partner who owned half of Fairways 30 years ago. He lived in a little house in Anna Street. Me and my brother went and helped them move. We moved them in a pickup truck. You're making people rich on your stupidity. There is a company in Trinidad called Island Finance. All Island Finances make money on is people's stupidity. Work your ass off for the year to pay for a carnival costume and some fete tickets. And by the time you finish, you come back and you make the same loan again. And you're putting posts on Facebook. You're asking about generational wealth. You don't know about sacrifice. You don't know about work, whole, and what you have extra, that is your celebration. All the way on the avenue, drinking $15 Guinness, pretending that we're successful. But we duck in the bank, we duck in the landlord, we duck in the Chinese man shop. False pride going and kill we. Because the 1% learn we. We stupid. We will continue to vote for jackasses who can't dig a hole to hold water. That is the solution, you know. If the solution was something more rocket scientist, I'd say okay. But it's a hole, boy. It's a hole. I tell them, lift up the Brian Lara Promenade. Dig a hole there. A swimming pool underneath the promenade. 100 feet deep. As wide as the promenade. And then float the promenade back over on top of that. All the water that coming down from St. Anne's Hill, that coming through the savannah, that running down Pembroke Street, Frederick Street, Charlotte Street, Henry Street, Abercrombie Street, all them streets that would normally flood Independence Square and then go and flood South Key, all of it will fall down in that swimming pool and catch. When the sun come out, pump it to a reservoir or leave it right there. Set up water makers on it. It's simple. It's simple to do. Capture, hold, treat, distribute. The fact that this country pays almost $1 billion a year, every year, for desalinated water means we are the stupidest people in the world. They ever saying, what is bringing something to Dover? What is chalk? Bringing sand, something to Newcastle, coals to Newcastle. Newcastle was the people and had all the coal in the world. You taking coals to Newcastle. Taking sand to the Sahara. Take sand to the beach. We that stupid. We stupid. Let me at least, let me tell you something. They ever say, so fixing a problem, 99% of fixing a problem is understanding the problem. Our problem, Trinidadians, us, we stupid. And it's too easy to fool we. Big things are going on in the country. But we're not paying attention to that because a man named Gabriel bulls some girls. So my whole news feed is representing and reflecting the intellectual capacity of the voter base in Trinidad as to why that jackass Keith Rowley is the Prime Minister and that insufferable hooligan Colin Imbert is your Minister of Finance and that barking dog Fitzgerald Hines is your Minister of National Security. Look at your cabinet. Look at the opposition. Look at the 41 seats in the parliament and tell me, really and truly tell me, that's the best and the brightest and that's the best we could do. Tell me that. Tell me that. I see 3 government ministers today. 3, one after the other, surprisingly, in different locations. One when I went to get coffee, I turn around and see him. And if the floor could have opened and he fall down in the floor, he'd have do that. There is panic when they see Philip because you see, they say in the blind man kingdom, in the kingdom of the blind, the one-eye man is king. I am the one-eye man. I see it and I say it and I call it. All these fellas who hold in ministries, who have drivers who driving them around, they reach so far. Gatsby Dolly, you think she thought she would ever reach where she's a minister of education, boy? She don't even know what to do with that. Look at Shamfa Kujo. Shamfa Kujo thought that for the rest of her life they'd have put on a leash outside somebody's house and she'd bark at people as they pass. She didn't think that this could have been her and her life. So they don't know how to do nothing. And they don't want to rock that boat at all. You don't have a single government minister with an idea, with a clue. Every single policy that this PNM and this UNC have embarked upon since January 18, 2017, they got from watching Philip live videos. Every time I talk, they take notes. Every single time. And every time they talk a policy, something new, something that wasn't in Vision 2020 or Vision 2030 or Pillars of Progress, something that nobody in the UNC or the PNM ever talk about, but all of a sudden, since Philip talk about it, they're talking about it. Cinnamon and Munilal end up down in Chester Street to go and deal with the Golden River. Why? Because the Progressive Empowerment Party went down there with engineers and contractors. And we're trying to raise money to dredge the river because these sons of bitches that have been in government has never desilted and dredged that river and suffer those farmers so HADCO could get fat, so AMCO and SABGA could get fat, so Massey could get fat, so the food importers could get fat. You must drown the farmers' food. And what don't drown, let the predial larcenists come and larcen away. And what they don't larcen away, wet them with the prices of things like chemicals to safeguard the food while they're growing. Farmers in this country are the worst done upon people. And I promise you, if for a minute God bless this country and made a Progressive Empowerment Party government, the farmers of Trinidad and Tobago would have all their dreams answered and more. We would make sure Trinidad becomes food independent, self-sufficient, and playing on the international stage within 5 years. And don't listen to that jackass Keith Rowley who told you that we don't have enough land to grow food. Saudi Arabia 10 years ago, 3% of their land space was food. Now, they are the biggest supplier of 5 different food items to the world. They're growing food in the desert. Trinidad, that has a rainforest. Here, if you walk in your yard and spit a pawpaw seed tonight, tomorrow the ground pregnant with pawpaw. In a week, the leaves pushing up. You know that. You know that. Don't mow your lawn for a week in Trinidad now. And see what happened. See what happened. Trinidad ground want to grow. Go and see if they're not taking care of a building and it's empty for 5 years. Go and see. The bush just reach on top of the roof and take it over and take it apart. Go and see. But we're too damn stupid. And people see that we're stupid, so they're riding us. And they're giving we blackface and Indian face. Look at 10 million, look at 10 million. Either one of them get in office, them getting back $1 billion. $10 million for $1 billion, $20 million. It doesn't make a difference. The whole PNM and UNC is made up of people sitting down there waiting to thief. That's it. Any policy, any project that benefited you accidentally, it wasn't deliberate. It was they was thieving money and that fall on you. Trust me when I tell you that. Trust me when I tell you that. And you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have to take responsibility for yourself and for the quality of your children's life. 50,000 people suffering in Cocorit across the road from Bayside Towers. The children used to go and wipe rich people windscreen by Super Farm for a hustle. And we come and we crush them like cockroach. Where we think they're going? They're either going and lie down and dead, or they're going and come and find another way to make money. And if they had no jobs for them, if we slowly encircling them, if when we built Powder Magazine Part 2, it came out too nice for poor black people, so we flipped the script, we throw in an elevator and call it Victoria Keys. But now it's backing Waterhole. It's backing Cocorit. If we continue to encircle them with rich 1% middle class development, but do not give them jobs, do not provide hope and opportunity, which is the government's responsibility. People that say, that's not the government job. That is the reason for government. It is the purpose of government. When you listen to the United States elections, and they're about to have elections, they start to talk about housing. A housing starts up. You know what's a housing start? A housing start is the foundation. They cut the ground. How much new houses being built? Jobs? Housing? The value of credit in the market. You see those things? That's what the American people look at when they're going to vote nationally for their president, when they're voting locally, when they're voting for people at local government level, like what we're about to vote for now. They're looking at schools, they're looking at roads, they're looking at parks, they're looking at security. They don't have to talk about things like water. They have nowhere in America don't have water. Las Vegas is a blasted desert. 50 million people living inside of there. It's the #1 tourist destination in the world now. That's a desert. That's a desert. Go on Netflix and watch the story and see the story about the man who diverted the Colorado River to Las Vegas to turn it green and lush. How California had 300,000 people before that river passed through California and made it the 13th largest economy in the world. Only Trinidadians, stupid. Jamaicans, not stupid. Jamaican giving you all the dub and all the dancehall for you to passa your ass to. But Jamaica economy soaring, and Jamaica don't have oil and gas, but Jamaicans know they have to diversify. And if wine and jam is what they were doing, they would have found a way to monetize wine and jam. It is why Sean Paul and Maxi Priest and Buju Banton make millions, hundreds of millions. It's why dancehall Rihanna is a billionaire. Rihanna is a billionaire, broke into America with a dancehall song. Sample the, what is? Come Mr. DJ, sample the replay. That's what took Rihanna into the world. Jamaicans are not stupid. You know what Jamaicans are telling you? All reggae, all dancehall, all of our music came off of Calypso. A man named Lord Melody used to write the rhythms that started it. Bob Marley came out of Trinidad Calypso. But we're so blasted stupid. We could sour vomit. We could spoil hog food. We let them take Calypso, that was the birthplace of Jamaican music that went global, and turn it into disgusting, nasty, race-baiting drivel and destroy it. PNM, anything they touch is turned to shit. And Calypso is shit now. You watch Machel Bright. Machel just play party in power. If Kamala in power, she and he wearing fancy shoes on stage and boogie in. If PNM in power, he boogie in with Rowley. No problem. Nobody buying that black man. Pass your money, let me boogie. And that's how all Calypsonians, but Mr. Bois, Mr. Shaq, that talented Calypsonian with Bois, the first time I hear Bois, see this man, poet. Sing a next song now. No boy PNM in office. Can't sing. I got lost my hand out. When you find out all them soca stars and things, just go by the 1% for free clothes and free food. All of them on a leash, tight collar. All of them. Play my song for me, eh? Boo! Where we going? Where we going? We give police 4% increase. We tell police, go outside there. The narcotic traffickers who does bring so much coke into this country, the PNM needed a stunt. They could have given them, look, 168 grams of cocaine. Pretend that is our boss. More drugs is passed through this country than anywhere else in the world. She has a narco state. And they don't have to go with cutlass and cut through bush. They're coming through the port in air-conditioned comfort. We want our police to go and throw themselves in harm's way, leave their wife, leave their children. Police is not just people in blue with gun. Police is human beings like me and you. And we tell them, go and work for shit money and put yourself in danger. Get killed and we'll give your wife a piece of money. Get shot and injured and you can't work again, well, that is tough, boy. Nothing for you. You know, police have no insurance. They have some kind of police hospital somewhere in the country. And if you lick the right Bamsi, if you're sick, they'll take care of you. But it's not normal, it's not factual, it's not systemic, it's not organized. Police should have an insurance card. that if you get injured in the line of duty, or if you're working and you get stressed, you're getting heart and you're getting stroke or whatever, you're supposed to walk in them 1% West Shore and St. Clair, because we're supposed to respect our police. We're supposed to say these are the people who put themselves in danger, who leave their wives and their children and their husbands home and go out and may never see them again to protect strangers. We must take care of them, but we don't. So police must suffer, and we give them 4%. 4%. No, it's 4% to the average police officer, $300 more a month. $300 more a month. The last time they got a raise, doubles was $2. Bread was $5. Now bread is $15. Doubles is $6. Gas went up 4 times. I raised it once. I raised it again. I might raise it again because they ain't riot yet. And it's the same blasted police, that stunting bitch will run and hide behind the day they really choke him with your own words. Who it is have to stop any riot that you cause. You yourself call me but say that they should have riot. You yourself tell the IMF you provoke the shit out of them people. I raise it once. I raise it again. I might raise it again. They ain't riot yet. Like that's the line. Keep raising till they freaking riot. And you want police to hold the line. We give them $300 more a month. $300 more a month. $10 a day. They can't even drink at Starbucks. It's $50 for a Starbucks. You're making fools of people. But you bring a foreign news white man, and they give him $180,000 a month plus perks. Perks on $180,000 a month is the next $40,000 in value. You don't get perks, $180,000 and then a bag of lorry a day. $180,000 is come with big perks. What he going to do for that $180,000 when the oil and gas run out? What are you gonna do? What is the purpose? He's going to come and work abracadabra magic and suck new oil out of our dry wells? AV oil done do that already. He gonna do it. He gonna do it. What magic he gonna work for that $180,000 a month? What? Ask yourself. This local government election that you all hear them talking about, this is not about election, you know. I was making a list. I made a list. It's not just an election. It's about time. You know what's time? To the people who caught in traffic twice a day, 250 to 300,000 people are caught in traffic twice a day, trying to get into Port of Spain. Some spend as much as 4 hours, twice a day, coming in and coming out of town, so Aboud could sell bra and panty. The government has known since Pandey was Prime Minister that the solution to the traffic is not a rapid rail, it's not a racket rail. It's to take all of the government offices that those 250,000 people coming to work in out of Port of Spain. Put it in the center of the island. Traffic done. Everybody 15 minutes from work. But if you take it out of Port of Spain dead, and Aboud have to eat the bra and panty. You see, that's the thing. Port of Spain is a dead city. If you come to Port of Spain after 6 o'clock on an evening, you could play football with the vagrants, but that's about it. Port of Spain is dead. There is nothing going on in Port of Spain other than public servants buying bra and panty in their mall, sugar cake and currants roll. That's what the whole of the capital city of Port of Spain is. We are a country of fools, and we tolerate that bullshit. Patrick Manning engaged in the most egregious theft, building those campuses in town. They built such shit that they've fallen apart before they open. When you go to the Ministry of Education, they have big signs all around it. Be careful, the ground not safe. Now you tell me if we not the stupidest people in the world. You tell me. Because I want to know. I want to know how people as bright and as talented as Trinidadians have been to space. Trinidadians are the brightest people in the world. Trinidadians have been traced. Do you know the man James Bond? 007. You know James Bond? That name was the name of a man who wrote a book about birds in the Caribbean in Trinidad. And the man who was making the movie James Bond had that book on his coffee table and saw the author's name and used it. And the rest, as they say, is history. This country was blessed, as the Bible says, pressed down and running over. No other country in the world have a nylon pool. The nylon pool, they say, is make you age backwards. You all know that? You all ever heard that? Not that there's a pool in the middle of the ocean, because just that, just the fact that there's a pool in the middle of the ocean, people will be booking to come from all over the world. It would be all over Discovery Channel and National Geographic. It'll be on the cover of Time magazine, but not, because here in the shithole, our job is to destroy it. If we can't eat it and we can't screw it, we have to kill it. That's what Trinidad is. That's what we do. The nylon pool, no other country in the world has one. Do you know that the iconic image of a tropical destination, a jetty with a hut at the end of it, the actual hut is Pigeon Point? You know that? You know we nearly take bribe to destroy no man's land, which ecologists still haven't finished mapping. Don't understand? They have a next place called Rocky Point in Tobago that they're going to destroy now. That the ecologists saying, wait, let us finish. The other thing called Banwari, man. We wanted the bones move out the way so we could have finished Bill. We don't even know the history, 10,000 years. Trinidad could have the first people in the world. We don't know. Because Trinidad is, if we can't eat it and we can't screw it, we have to kill it. That's Trinidad. That's this country. We have to ask ourselves, what makes us so stupid when we're here? When we're in New York or Jamaica or Barbados or England or France or Spain or Japan, wherever in the world, I know Trinidadians message me from Iceland and Lithuania, messaging me and saying, we're following you, Felco. Trinidadians everywhere in the world. And vote for the Progressive Empowerment Party and you'll hear a sucking sound as all those Trinis come back. Come back in droves, millions of Trinidadians. Why? Because they will get, for the first time, they'll get to come back home and bring the children to walk where they used to run. And tell them we're going to turn. You see the first world that we live? Outside, we're going to make Trinidad so. When them Yankees come and sell Panday government the shit about tube straight to the plane. Shut down the waving gallery. Nobody waves the planes anymore. Tube straight to the plane. We are jackasses. The people who live stuffed in shirt and tie all through the year don't want shirt and tie in the tropics. They want to come here and experience our authentic shit. They want a change. They don't want Starbucks. We have more Starbucks per square foot than anywhere else in the world now. We have more KFC than anywhere on the planet. This jackass nation. They're not coming here for KFC. If you wanted to make money, do you know that Rio de Janeiro and Louisiana make more money from tourism than we make from oil? And tourism, Trinidad could be, and Tobago especially, could be the number one tourist destination in the world for the things that we have. Forget pitch. Do you know the pitch lake, the sulfur pools by the pitch lake have expressed and proven medicinal properties that people will come from the world over, that you could sink a truck in the pitch lake tonight and tomorrow it'll unsink itself. Come now, man. Why are we so foolish? Why are we trying to be mini New York? Americans want to come to Trinidad, come off the plane, rain falling or sun shining, walk down them steps. People outside there beating little steel pan, Moko Jambi, you know, that kind of, damn Lorraine, hey, and they're taking, now, in the world of selfies, whoa, look at me, I'm in Trinidad, baby. What you could take a picture of in Trinidad to say I'm in Trinidad? Napa? The copulating tinfoil slugs? What is that about? How is that Trinidadian? What is there? What do we have left anywhere? What? Ask yourself, if you want to take a tourist and say, this is Trinidad, where are you going to take them? Maracas, that have more water on land than in the sea? Where are you going to take them? Where? What is still authentically this country? What? What? Nothing. Nothing. Because if they can't eat it, and they can't screw it, they have to kill it. It's Trinidad. Americans wanted to come in our airport, open air. Woo! It's hot in here. I didn't know it got so hot in the Trinidad. This is the tropics? Oh! That's what they want. And they want to, this is doubles. That's how you pronounce it? Doubles? Wow! Take a picture. I'm eating a doubles. You step off the freaking plane. Starbucks in your face. Church's Chicken. Subway. KFC. Are we still in New York? Where's the doubles I heard about? Look at that. Look at it. 1% have the rest of the country bent over and raping you. To get a shack and bake or a doubles, you have to walk out the airport, opposite the line of traffic, because we built a whole highway passing the airport. From the time you get into your car, you're in whoosh mode. You can't drive. And look at the scenery. Oh, those are jupas? I heard about the jupas. Gingerbread houses? Are those? Ah! No, nothing. Bush and whoosh. That's what they get in. So for you to get a doubles or a shack and bake, you have to risk them beasts. When people ask me for a drop to the airport, you could call me on the phone and ask me for a drop to Mayaro tonight. After this live video, I tell you, let me go. I like to drive. I like to drive. I like to drive with people because you know I like to talk. And I like to drive by myself. When I'm coming home, all the windows down and the breeze blowing in my hair and I'm singing Bryan Adams rock music. I like that. I will drive you anywhere. You know where I'm not driving you? To the airport. The airport security guards is the worst. I don't like ever having to ever have a conversation with them. If I'm in the airport and I catch on fire and the only other person near me is a security guard, a Piaco security guard, I will roll around on the ground and try and out my own fire. And I might get a ticket because this is a no-fire zone. They're nasty, they stink, they're beasts. To become one of those security guards, you must have to go to a meeting and say, are you a beast? Show me a beast, kick down something. Be rude and disrespectful. Deny me a hearing, talk like an ass, carry on like a fool. Let me hear you so I can put you in a uniform and set you on the people. You ever deal with Trinidad security in Piaco? The nastiest people I have ever dealt with in this world are the security guards at Piaco. And if I never, ever have a reason to drive anywhere near Piaco to interact with any of them hog, I have never, no time ever, met one of them and said, but this is a decent human being. It's like you have a different breed. They're nasty, they stink. And I wonder if they stink to everybody so, or if it's just the Trinidadians. Hopefully they don't stink to foreigners like that. You could imagine, you land in Trinidad and you're in the tube. You came up with a tube. I thought we'd be in the tropics. And then you had to line up for 4 hours in immigration. Because they're working to rule 100 years now. This election is about the quality of your life. This election is a message to Keith Rowley and to Kamla Prasad-Bissessar and poor Basdeo Pandey, who, you ever see Weekend at Bernie's? Basdeo Pandey reminding me of Weekend at Bernie's. They need him alive and flopping around so they could pretend. Once Baz still around, they're all politically relevant. Well, you ever see that? If Baz dead, they're not burying him. They're keeping him around for election. They need to watch them. The whole family useless without Baz. So anything they could milk him for, the man can't talk, he could barely think, but they're still milking him. Only have some decency, no man. Oh shit. Seriously. This election here is a message to Kamala and her imitation UNC. With them pack of stray dog she have as a party. You ever watch that? You could imagine that. She don't have the UNC that she inherited from Basdio Pandey that had serious thinkers. You didn't have to like Suraj Rambachan. Suraj Rambachan could be a pain in anybody's ass, but he bribed. Suraj Rambachan on his feet used to frustrate the PNM. Tim Gopi Singh, come on. Bright people used to be in that party. Who in that party now? Kamala Charan. That she could say, mash, run, come, calm down. She won that. Dave Tanku. I mean, Dave Tanku. You can imagine Dave Tanku in government. If you think the PNM is a shit show, that UNC in government is a shit show on steroids. And that is what Gary negotiated with her here, to try and get back a work. Because for some of these politicians, without a work, they're useless. You know, they can't stand up and talk to you. They can't talk truth to you. They have to sit down on the media and reminisce about when they was last in government, what they used to do, what the price of ham and hops was. You, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, are surrounded by some of the most brilliant people in the world. A jackass tried to argue with me the other night when I said that my brother deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Every single activist in this country, be them PNM, UNC, or none of the above, that was fighting the government for the vaccine and the way the pandemic was being handled, were calling my brother on the phone. They had him on speed dial. Tell me, how does this work? How does that work? Tell me how to say it. You will come down if we go to court. You're coming to be a witness with us. All! Every single one. Not one doctor in the UNC or the PNM could stand to him, and they'll tell you that. They'll admit that. They have no doctor in Trinidad and Tobago as bright. He's an epidemiologist. You know what my doctors, plural, said to me? Because I have different doctors that I go to for different things. They said, we don't understand the way your brother understands it, you know. We get it sent to us, and we operate with that. He writes what we get sent. His job is to take it apart and understand it and break it down. My brother was the person who found the pig from swine flu. He was the one that they sent looking for the bird flu in India. He ended up adopting a beautiful young girl there because he was trying to adopt somebody in Trinidad. But our country is a shit show. You can't even adopt an orphan. You can meet an orphan 2 years old and start the process. And by the time they tell you you're complete, the child is an adult. Waste of freaking time. Nothing works in Trinidad and Tobago because the PNM and UNC full of shit. They are racist political movements designed to fool people so they could thief money. That's it. Not just them. Not just them. Basdio Pandey admitted that politicians can't thief money without businessmen, but he didn't really say it properly. Politicians can't thief money like businessmen. They're a set for them politicians. Most of those politicians who end up in the parliament, Khadija Amin, Vandana Mohit, them is Gatsby Dolly with straight hair. Them don't understand how the shit works. So they don't understand that these people come in. I tell Marsha Walker, she tell me, Philip, I'm going into the UNC and when I get there I will change it. I say, change what? Who you think paying for the truck? And the posters and the videos which you fling in your locks. Who paying for it? Who you think paying for Anil Roberts Douglas politics that giving you all of your mileage? Who? Who? So you're going to bite the hand that feeds you? They will squash you like a German cockroach. You cannot work for people and get in the government and turn on them people. That's a different kind of violence. You ain't want that. You ain't ready for that. To be a real truth. Gary Griffith called me an activist. He said I'm an activist. I'm not a politician. I think he thought he was insulting me. And that was the best compliment because I thought I had become a politician. I don't want to be a politician. You have to be a politician to be in politics to fight these demons. But I am an activist. I went this morning to change the door in a school because the children had to pee in pairs so that nobody don't come and interfere with them when they're using the toilet. When I found that out, I said, but miss, how is that the case? She said, well, the lockdown wiped us out. We have no money. We can't fix everything. We can't fix that. I came back to PEP office and I took a door that we're not using. I went peaks and buy a drill and went to the school and changed the door. And I'm not telling you that for props. I'm telling you that because at the end of the day, if I'm not still doing things like that, I will hate myself. I will hate myself for being a politician and talking to other politicians. I will hate myself for having the conversations that businessmen is trying to have with me. Phil, hear this one I hear it. No, because we big, you know. PEP big, no. Don't let them fool you. They used to say, nobody know PEP, nobody know Philip. Everybody know PEP and everybody know Philip. God man in your whole end. She like that. But this is new one I hearing. Phil, let me be honest. You had to deal with somebody. That's what you're telling me. It's like if corruption in their mind is inevitable. Peaks little expensive though. Let me tell you something. The E in Peaks is expensive, but I was on my way. I stopped in Price Mart to get a drill. But Price Mart had a box with 2 drills in it. Let me tell you, we own a drill, you know. We own a brand new drill Satish buy, but the owner come and take it from the office because I was in the office. I went for the door and the drill. Can't find the drill. So I had to go and buy a drill because I commit myself that I'm going and change this door. So the only drills that they had in Price Mart was 2 drills in a box for nearly $1,000. And I didn't want to spend $1,000 on a drill. So when I went in Peaks, they had a little drill, like a power screwdriver for $400, and that's what I bought because I just needed something to take out the 6 screws and put back in 6 screws. And I'm not saying this to pat myself on my shoulder. I'm doing this my whole life. We drive past the other day. We go in Miaro and we drive past the squatter village in Valencia. And I see the 3 houses that me and my son, when my son was a little boy, went up there with the Jericho Project and friends and helped rescue people whose houses they lived up to their knees in water. It's about 15 years ago now. And I watched the houses and I remembered my Jericho Project days. Valencia. Fix houses for squatters who suffer and who still there now. But now, that was 15 years ago, they have title. We don't do in this country what government's supposed to do. Government's supposed to look after the people, not the rich. Kid Brown is a jackass, a nasty, nasty fella. I don't like him anymore, you know. I vote for him. In 2007, that was the election, I believed the man. I went to the Prime Minister in August 2003 and tell him about massive bid rigging taking place in Unicott. I said, I'm voting for that. You see, I went on the site in Princess Building Grounds, 100% Chinese labor. I said, I'm voting for that. I vote for that. Who fooled me? 110% Chinese labor in Diego Martin West tonight. Building the Tanti flyover. The 1% Tanti flyover. Somebody said, Mr. Philip, my wish is that people vote for you. Let's see what that change will bring. I'll tell you what the change is. It's about time. I was telling you, when I was an activist, Gary Griffith, not Aboud, me and he don't talk again. Because Gary Aboud vexed with me about Wildflower Park because that was his family I was going against. And he messaged me to tell me, Phil, let's lower the temperature. My temperature not hot. But if you come at me, I will come back to you. That's how I know the game to play. I don't go and call my brother and my sister and my uncle. I'm not like the rest of them PNM jokers who need pussy lawyers when... Anyway, let me get into that. No? Anyway, there was a piece of land across from Victoria Gardens where people used to park every year for the Victoria Fete Carnival Fete. And I measured it and I realized, I said, wait now. We could build a bypass around 4 roads because 4 roads has caused this traffic every evening. For people trying to go in the west, 4 hours of traffic because of 4 roads. And I measure it. And Jack Warner was the Minister of Works in the UNC. And I wrote an article in the paper. And Gary Griffith's wife, Nicole, called me. She said, Philip, this already work, boy? I said, yes. She said, the minister want to see you, want to talk to him. I said, sure. Went to a meeting with Jack. Jack and a fella named Roger Israel, and the next one say Roger Ganesh, who was the director of highways and the permanent secretary, and a bunch of other technocrats, and all of the maps, you see maps and drawings and my article, and Jack asking them if this will work. And they're trying to find a way to say it's not going to work, because Coleman and the rest of them sons of bitches wanted to do that flyover that they just built as a Tanti flyover. They wanted the flyover for that. They wanted to spend that money. You have to build massive projects to spend money. That's the only way the contract mafia could eat. And one of the people said, Starlight Plaza wouldn't agree. Now, this is when I was an activist. Now, I never was a politician before. So everybody in the room is a bigger papi than me. So I'm quiet. So Jack watch me. It's the first time I'm talking to Jack Warner. You know. Watch me. The look on, a resigned look on his face. I said, Mr. Warner, if I could, I have spoken to the management of Starlight already before I published my article. And they are in agreement it will benefit them. Jack said, that's true? I said, that's true. He said, let's go. All of us leave the Ministry of Works and went in our vehicles and drove to Starlight. Those pictures are on the Government Information Systems website, GISL. Go and Google Philip Alexander, Jack Warner, Diego Martin Highway. And you will see me and Jack and a bunch of other people in the middle of the road in Diego Martin. But we went there. And the people admitted to Jack, they confirmed that they would approve it, that they would work together. The next day, you had to like Jack for this. The next day, there were traffic wardens at the Four Roads intersection. And Jack Warner told me, help me get this done, and I will appreciate it. People tell me Jack is a fella, they can say what they want. If you owe you a favor, it's a good favor to have. I think Jack still owing me this favor, come to think of it, you know. Benny Hatem and all of them from Diego Martin used to see me outside there with the traffic wardens on an evening for weeks. When traffic light not sync up, when traffic building up, people used to call me, what is going on with your plan? I'm not in government. I'm not getting paid. That turned out to be a $200 million project. Philip ain't get a cent. I get my lawyers to write them a letter, but I didn't have enough money for lawyers, so I forget about it. And when they fire Jack, that Jack sued Rambachan because he's bright, but he's not a human being that you want to talk to. He's abrasive like heavy grade sandpaper. But anyway, Jack pushed it through, and I didn't know that the contract was awarded to the director of highway son-in-law. I was naive in the politics then. But Four Roads bypass bill, and except for the shit that's going on right now that the Oompa Loompas doing in Diego Martin and causing traffic, there was never any traffic again. I sold people time back. I used to spend 3 hours and 4 hours in our traffic coming after picking up my son from school. And I know what it was like to get that time back. That time, 3 hours, when people can give you back 3 hours, that you're in a car that is road rage, squeezing people out, people squeezing you, everybody cussing, all your mother, so and so. That's because people fed up and they're frustrated and they're tired and they want to be home with their foot up, drinking a Milo, listening to music on TV or something, playing with your child, running around with the dogs, something. Instead of spending your life in traffic, a progressive empowerment party government. I am those things. That Four Roads bypass is a proof of concept. That if I tell you what we're selling you is time, Gregory Aboud could wear all his panty and bra himself. I promise you a progressive empowerment party government will move the government offices out of Port of Spain and end the nightmare of traffic forever. And you will not have to buy a rocket rail. Ever. Because we will build a new city in the geographic center of the island and reinvigorate and redevelop Trinidad and Tobago. And that will build massive cities around it. You will see this country open up. You all know we live and use only 13% of this island, right? You all know that Singapore is a third of the size of Trinidad and Tobago, and their population is 5.2 million people. We are 3 times their size with 1.4 million. Trinidad's population could comfortably be 10 million people, and we'll be a global player, but we're not. We're just slaves. We're rats in a maze in Trinidad. We are grist to the 1% mill. Our job is to labor and consume and hush. That's why the 1% owned media could block my voice. If this was a real country, nobody could do that. All they hate Trump. You think anybody will block Trump on the media? You think so? But they block my voice, and they're blocking me on social media. They're spending big money to squeeze, because Philip have a massive following. But you know what people doing now? People taking my little live videos and cutting them up and making smaller videos and sending them viral and choking them. Because Jesus Christ said when he was going back to Jerusalem, he said, listen now, silence me and even the rocks on the ground will speak up. And I believe that. I have seen that in my lifetime. And I want to tell you something. We would give you back time. We would put water in your taps 24/7. We will end flooding. Our water policy ends flooding, puts water in your taps 24/7. You could throw away the tank and pump. This, you will never buy another bottle of water in your life. We plan to put a 25-cent tax on every plastic bottle that Blue Waters, Coca-Cola, SM Jalil sell. So it's 25 cents on this. So when they throw it in the river, the indigent, the unemployable, those who have nothing to do with the time, could go and pick up 100 million plastic bottle and come back and get that 25 cents as a work, as a job, as an income. But more importantly, make them pay to clean up their own mess. And we'll end the flooding in the rivers. We'll end that. If you put a 25-cent tax on plastic bottles, people will pick the bottom clean of plastic bottles. It will drop about 6 feet. Our water policy captures the water that floods at the point where they flood in underground retention ponds. You don't believe me? Japan just built one big enough to hold all the water from a typhoon, which is a category 4 storm hurricane. And they built that under their city. I think it's Osaka. So if they could do it, we could do it. Think it through. And that water that you're capturing is the water that you're treating and the water that you're distributing into people's taps 24/7. The land that you have in your yard that have tank and pump could become a nice little kitchen garden. Grow your own kale and your own pimento and your own bygone and okra and tomato and cucumber and save money. But we will make sure that all of our 90,000 acres of farmland gets paired with 30,000 registered farmers with an actual crop schedule. We will give them targets with a proper marketing agency, not NABDEFCO bullshit. We are buying the crop from you up front. We will give you and commit to you a price now before you put the seed in the ground, because we are scheduling what plants where. So there'll be no glut and no drought. No 200% tomato and no cucumber. We'll make sure that they have enough and a balance. And we'll tell you, you have 2 options. We'll buy the entire crop from you, sign now, 60% of the value of the proposed value. You ain't put a seed in the ground yet. But we will buy it all from you. Or you can sell it wherever you want. But you have to commit, because we need to know what we will be able to tell the people. This is what we will have. And set prices. Set prices, because when I tell them the glut price don't help the farmer, you know. The glut price don't help the farmer. The farmer needs a steady, manageable income stream. Farmers in developed world are millionaires, multi-millionaires, as they should be. We will put the price of food back affordable. We will peg public sector wages to inflation. And that is not rocket science. The government is responsible for managing inflation. That's their job. That is the only reason for having a Minister of Finance, to manage the economy, the value of the spread between real wages and what it could buy. That's what you're voting for. That's what you're supposed to vote for. Vote for water. Vote for no traffic so you get back time with your family. Vote for affordable food. We want to create zero deposit, zero interest on first-time homeowners. up to $1 million, up $1.5 million for 30 years, so that even minimum wage earners can own a home. To ask with HDC, let people go out and find their own land and build their own house, finance them. Poor people, if you give them credit to build a house, they will slave to pay that money. They will not eat and pay that loan. The science is clear. The people at the bottom rung don't default. They are the ones most desperate to keep control of that house. They know how difficult it is to get one. We're voting for survival. You're voting for survival for you and for your children. We have to end the nonsense of 10 prestige schools and the rest also ran. A Progressive Empowerment Party government will build 200 purpose-built schools for the 200,000 children that are in school at any one time, to make sure that the children get a 10-year education in a community where their family own the home, so they're growing together in school, with friends in school, their parents growing with their parents, everybody growing with the teachers and the administrators, so that every step along the way, while your child transition from childhood to toddler to young adult, that you have guidance, so that we don't lose them, so that the community could build again, so sports and culture could take hold again. China has lost everything. Everything, DNACN, B-Mobile, Digicel, wine on your Bamsi, Machel Montano bullshit is not culture. That is money. That is making money. That is not culture. We need to go back to culture. Culture is the expression of the people. How they walk, how they talk, how they think, how they act, how they sing, how they dance, what they eat. All of that is culture. We need to give them back culture again. Or the opportunity to have culture again. We will open the financial sector to competition. Republic Bank and Royal Bank and First Citizens and Scotia have gotten stale. And they're pressuring me. I'll tell you that another time. I'll tell you what a bank manager told me when I went to see them about something. But we'll talk about that another time. Stick a pen there. But this is what Gary and them afraid. They're not Kamala afraid. They can't talk like me because they're not brave like me. They don't have plans like me. And they don't have enough belly, balls, backbone to stand up for the country and tell you, banks supposed to be paying you interest on your funds, not depleting the value of your account in nuisance fees. Banks are not supposed to be charging you fees, $20 and $30 and $50 for a printout of your statement. That is madness. What happened to little boy David Welch? Me and David Welch having lunch tomorrow. Whoever is this asking me that, whoever it is, send you there, that profile safety medic, come and join us. Don't worry about it. Me and David, we're better than good. It's about opportunities, about the cost of food, it's about roads, about water your taps, about proper representation. More importantly, it's about hope. The average Trinidadian, and if I lie, write big in capital letters, I lie. The average Trinidadian's biggest dream is to get green card or papers to Canada or passport to Europe to get out of Trinidad. The average Trinidadian's dream is to leave Trinidad. And that is sad. The most beautiful country in the world is Trinidad. They have nowhere. They have better managed places. They have better marketed places. Naturally, Trinidad is the most beautiful, blessed country in the world. And we've made a mess of it. And we've allowed them to ruin it. I remember going to the sugar mill in Tobago that had the massive water wheel. And the rainforest was taking it back. Tobago is a rainforest. And the rainforest was taking it back. And it was the most amazing experience of my life to walk through that sugar factory without a roof and watching the bush and nature and the animals and that water wheel. And the next year, the very next year, all of it burned now. Because we didn't have the sense to preserve that. We didn't have the sense to preserve it. We've never, at no time ever, not Eric Williams, not George Chambers, not Arthur Napoleon Raymond Robinson, not Bastille Pandey, not Kamala Persad-Bissessar, not Keith Rowley. We've never had a government that cared about the people of this country. We've had a government that cared about what they could get from the people and how they could fool the people so they could keep getting the people to vote for them and lie to the people. But we've never had a government that cared about all the people of Trinidad and Tobago, red, white, black, green, and every shade in between. We've never had a government. Don't tell me you send Sadiq Bash to paint 2 water tanks up on the top of Picton Hill. Miss me with that bullshit. There is plenty more that was supposed to be done. And that's a conversation for another time because this video is running long, but I want to tell you something. We cannot win the local government election without you. We cannot. But the PNM can't either. And the UNC can't either. Nobody could. At the end of the day, we are all gatherings of people selling you an idea. If you choose to support that idea with your money and your volunteerism and your vote, membership in the party, that's what makes a party successful. You own the PNM, you own the UNC, and you own the Progressive Empowerment Party. What you focus on next is what will survive, is what will thrive, is what will grow, is what this country will become. You could choose corrupt, racist politics and hope for the best. You could say, you don't like what we're selling, or your mommy and your daddy and your tanty and Aja and Aju was PNM or UNC and you had to stick it out, no problem. I had to respect that. I can't cuss you for your choice. But I want you to know, when you make that choice, look at your children. Because it's them you're voting for. Every parent in this country, look at your children, look at your grandchildren. What you vote for next is the life they're going to inherit. And if you think it can't get worse, you ain't know what them contract mafia men waiting to do this country. You ain't know. Nothing works in Trinidad and Tobago. You could talk about anything. Anything. Justice system, the jails, the police service, the army, 6,000, 7,000, running through the bush every day, shooting Manikou. What we have an army for? What we funding that for? What is that doing? What's the purpose of it? Who's going to invade us? That them 6,000, 7,000, who going to invade us? Barbados? Antigua? Wasting money, fooling people. Either pull the best of the army and add it to our national security and end the narco state. Yeah, I can understand that. But miss me with the bullshit of a standing army in 2023. Anything. Look at what's going on with Ukraine. Anybody want this country? Venezuela want to Trinidad and Tobago tomorrow. What are we going to do? How long our army will last? 3 days? 4? Think about it. Everything that's wrong could be right. Everything that's not working could fix. You just have to want it. What you vote for next will determine the quality of life of all of us. Me, you, your children, all of us are dependent on you. We need your vote. We need you to volunteer. We need you to come on board. We need you to finance. And if you want to finance, 7694590, and you can write it down. That's Felicia Holder. She's the finance manager of the party. And if you want to be a volunteer or a candidate, we're looking for candidates and people to work with the candidates on the ground. You could call or WhatsApp Satish at 7968172. I'm the first politician that used to share my cell phone number openly with the public, and then others started to follow. My number is 682-2110. It's been 682-2110 since B-Mobile started. If you want to be a part of the Progressive Empowerment Party, if you want to learn more, if you want to come on board, we have an event happening for businessmen in the West. We have an event happening for businessmen in the South. Let me try and get some of this information from you. If you're a business, small or large, whoever is calling me now, I can't take calls right now and I'm apologizing. If you're a business, small or large, in the Diego Martin area, on June 1st at 6:30 p.m., there'll be a private meeting discussion on representation for business in Diego Martin. You can RSVP to Shobi at 680-1939 or Sterling at 499-3258. Shobi is 680-1939 and Sterling is 499-3258. Those people are coordinating an event to talk to the business community in the West, and then there's going to be one in Central and one in the East and one in South, to get those of you who are not part of the Chamber of Commerce or the 1% or the contract mafia who's suffering. We want to show you that there are ways for you too, because you're bigger, you're larger. The consumption on labor in this country makes or breaks everybody. It's time for everybody to know the power that they have. Progressive Empowerment Party want to lead everybody to that. So, if you would like, you know what's funny? I keep getting voicemails on this phone that I can never access because that don't work. So if you would like to reach out to any of these people, Felicia Holder 769-4590. I want to give you some other, everybody who watching me now, please do not dial the number. I did not give it to you to dial. But my number is 682-2110. You can shoot me a WhatsApp, and if I could read it on the air, I will. I want to give you some people's phone numbers. I want to give you first our deputy political leaders. Lima McLeod Wilkinson, her number is 761-4132. We have 3 deputy political leaders. Akil Camps, his number is 684-9107. Marissa Prasad, her number is 704-0071. That's our 3 deputy political leaders. You can reach out to them if you're having difficulty getting out to anybody else. They have authority and they can guide you properly. The Progressive Empowerment Party is a collection of vibrant, civic-minded, patriotic, brilliant people. All of the policies that you hear me speak about, that's what we exist for. When we say we will fix it, we literally mean that. My number is 682-2110. If you need to get on to anybody in this party, you can WhatsApp me and I'll forward it to them. Yeah? Satish Ramsaran is the party organizer. His number is 796-8172. Felicia Holder for finance, she's the chairman, 769-4590.
We gon' fix it. We gon' fix.
I want to play this song for you again.
This is a call to the nation. One by one, let's do it together. Let's be the change we want to see.
Everything is here.
Standing strong through any weather. Follow the light.
Can't do it without you.
Cause we could build a better place.
You want a better country. We're willing to do it. Join us. And you can check www.21policies.com. You can check that. Vote PEP. Thank all of you for joining. Thank all of you who are going to watch this after. I know the TikTokers don't get to keep the video for some reason. That's a thing on TikTok. But we're still going to do the lives on TikToks every night because apparently we have a massive following on TikTok and it's growing. We have a huge following on Instagram. Good night to the people on YouTube. Good night to the people on Rumble. Good night to the people on Restream. Good night to the people on Facebook, all the Facebook pages. Good night to everybody. Trinidad and Tobago, we could be one people under one flag. We want a better country.